Hello and welcome to Only Frames and welcome to another instalment of below average 8-ball pool content brought to you from the Ramsgate Rail Pool League Invitational. But today we don't bring you league drama, we bring you quarter-finals from our handicap knockout cup competition. It's Chris versus Scott, it's a race to 5 and Chris starts on -2 while Scott starts on 0. Will that be a big enough start for Scott though? He's still about 6 or maybe even 8 to 1 with the bookies, but can he defy the odds? Can he do something no man has ever done before and beat Chris in action of the Ramsgate Rail Pool League? He's lost a recent money match to Joe. Will this be the beginning of the end for Chris? Is Scott the man to do it? If Scott can beat him, anyone can. So many questions, so few answers. Scott's now at the table for the first time today and he'll be looking to pot a red into the middle, which he does. That's a great start for him. His pots aren't always guaranteed, so already he's showing the signs that he could be the guy to make sure that Chris finally loses in one of these games within this format. He does try a double there. He leaves it over the hole, bringing Chris back to the table nice and early, and he'll be looking to halve that deficit as quickly as he possibly can. Chris is immediately showing signs that he is here for a nice, quick and easy victory today. He's potted that one into the middle, he's developed the 8, and now he only has one tricky ball remaining. That's a yellow on the right-hand side that he's had a look at here. He's seeing if it goes anywhere. Does it maybe flick off this red? Go down to the bottom right. Scott's not managed to block the pocket fully. This could be a tricky ball for Chris, but if he can pot this one, they're all there. The last 3 yellows are over the hole. What's he looking to play? He's played a double up to the top and he's managed to sink it. Surely from here Chris is about to get his first frame on the board and get himself back to -1. This is within a matter of minutes. Scott will be feeling the heat already. 2 yellows remain over the hole. The 8's in a lovely position from his earlier development shot. This is a nice and easy chance for Chris here. Many of our players on the channel would miss from here, but I'd put my mortgage on Chris potting them. That's a pretty good pot. He's left himself a formality of an 8-ball. He's gonna sink it. He goes down to -1 as we move on to the second frame. Now as we move on to the second frame, it's Scott breaking off, but he comes up dry and you can't be doing that against Chris. He looks to punish you immediately straight off the bat. He's like a greyhound. He pops out the traps. He gets to the first corner first, and when he's ahead, he's a very tricky man to stop. But Joe managed to do it recently. Does Scott have it in his locker to do it as well today? Chris is immediately looking to take out his tricky ball. He's going to send this one bottom left, but he can only leave himself a plant. There's a bit of distance between these 2 balls. It makes it trickier, but if anyone can make it, it's probably Chris. He'll be looking to take this back to 0-0. This will be a real shock to the system for Scott. He's not played too badly. He's had 3 shots. He's potted 1 ball. That's a 33% pot success rate for Scott, which is his highest of the season so far. But I tell you now, he's going to need to at least double that number. He's going to need to go beyond the heights of anything he's ever achieved before. He's going to need a greater shock than when Will Young beat Gareth Gates in the final of X Factor or Pop Idol all them years ago. Will Young went on to great things and Gareth Gates, he fell off a cliff. But come on baby, light my fire, because Chris is about to bring it back to 0-0 in only a matter of minutes. This is swashbuckling. He's destroying him. This is an obliteration. Can Scott stop him? He's back at the table in the third frame and he's missing again, taking down his pot success to 25%. My maths isn't going to go as low as it needs to carry on these statistics throughout the game. Chris is back at the table. We are in the third frame and Chris is playing the red balls. Now as we rejoin the action in this frame, I think we are about to see something we've never seen before on the channel. Yes, Chris is about to play a stitch. He has given Scott a taste of his own medicine. How do you like it when it's done to you, boy? He doesn't like it. He may be good at laying them, but he doesn't know how to get out of them. Someone didn't go to maths because he did not know his angles there. He was nowhere near. I'd say he was at least 14 degrees off with the way he worked out his trigonometry there. But Scott wouldn't know that because he obviously slept through maths. He was too busy looking up Greek gods. He was too busy learning about Zeus and all those irrelevant things. They're not important, but he's forever talking about them in his comms. Who cares about Medusa or Thor or any of the others? As Chris takes a 1-0 lead as we move on to the fourth frame. Did you like that segue? 4 to 4. That was seamless. We join the action. Chris is at the table and he's playing the yellow balls. Now, as we rejoin the action, after an incredible segue from me that could only be matched by the Star Wars segue show in Benidorm, which I'm sure you have all seen. If you haven't seen, ask any questions in the comments and we'll happily provide the answers for you. I can't put it across audio. We would be suspended. This channel would be cancelled. But Chris has finally found out that sometimes potting the balls isn't always in your interest. He potted one he didn't want to pot. He was trying to use that to get position on his last tricky ball, and he's given Scott a chance. Could this be the tide turning for Scott? This is a real gimme chance for someone of his low level of ability. 4 of them are over the hole. Even Lou the dog could pot these, and he can't pot a thing to save his life, as we find out on a daily basis on his Road to Dish campaign, which is currently on about day 104. Will it ever end? I very much doubt it. But you got to remain hopeful. If you haven't got hope, you've got anything. And Scott is absolutely hopeless. He can't even pot them over the hole. Saying to Chris, here mate, have another go. It's embarrassing and it must be a fix. Surely someone can't miss a ball that easy, can they? Or can they? I've been recently accused of throwing matches. I lost to Gary 5-3 in a recent game. Gary's a great player. I play badly. Yet I'm being accused of all kinds. Do you think I would throw a game? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. I'll tell you now, I would never do that. I want to be the winner of the Gold Cup. And I'll tell you now, I think I am going to be. And I will put this out there. If I do not win the Gold Cup competition that I will still get into, then I will quit the Ramsgate Rail Pool League next season. I've been having them on. I've been having a laugh this season. I've not been trying. I've been luring them in. I've been pretending that I can't play when I really can. And I will win that Gold Cup competition. And if I don't, I will leave the league. How do you like that? You can't say fairer than that. But we need to get back to the action of this game. Chris has got an easy opportunity to go 2-0 up. It was not so long ago. He was -2 behind. This 8 to the bottom left pocket. He sinks it as we join the action of the 5th frame. Now, as we rejoin the action of the 5th frame, it occurs to me that maybe I've said something out of turn. Maybe I should withdraw my previous statement because I don't like winning. I just like playing for the sociable side of the game. So I'm not even sure if I'm going to try in the Gold Cup as of yet. So I'm probably going to withdraw my offer to withdraw from the league if I don't win the Gold Cup. But if I do win the Gold Cup, then obviously I'll happily take the money. Let me know if I should have to stand by my statement. I got lost in the moment. I was sick of people calling me out on the channel. I can play, but I've been going through a lot. I've had heart surgery, as many of you know. I broke my shoulder. I've had so many things happen, but I keep turning up. And these lot do not appreciate it. I keep putting it in, and every now and again I deliver. When Scott isn't delivering whatsoever. He got lucky against me when we played each other. He caught me on a bad day, and he hasn't stopped crowing about it since. But will he win a frame today? This is a nice opportunity to do so, but can he compose himself? Can he pot the 4 yellows, the simplest 4 yellows you're ever likely to see? He's going to roll this one into the middle, which he doesn't do. Luckily he had a shot on a visit, as I'm pretty sure he tried to pot that, which is embarrassing, but it won't be bad enough to feature in our Worst Shots of the Month competition, which is available on our TikTok, on our Instagram, and of course on our YouTube Shorts. But that's a very high bar. That miss from Scott was appalling. So was that positional shot. but it's not bad enough to feature. That gives you the idea of the level of pure terribleness that we possess when it comes to missing shots. But that's a good one from Scott. I didn't think he had that in his locker, but he's going to need another good one from here as he's once again struggled for position. He's getting down on it. Is he going to look to double it? He has to sink it bottom left. Will it go? We wait to find out. This looks close. He's rattled it. It's stayed up. That was unlucky, but what will Chris do? He's left Chris a skill shot, but does he have the minerals to take it? This will be a big moment in the match. He can pot the yellow, and if the 8 goes in as well, he wins the frame. He's looked to play it. The yellow stays up. There's no gravity, and he hands the frame to Scott. It's 2-1 to Chris and a race to 5. We join the action of the 6th frame. Now, as we rejoin the action, Chris is at the table and he's playing the yellow balls, and that's a nice bit of gear on there. Zip! It flew back up the table. That was very nice cueing indeed, but he's going to need to cue another one nice here. He's looking to sink that bottom left. That's a pretty good attempt, and I'm saying that pocket's a bit dodgy. Now 2 frames in a row, balls have stayed there that looked in. They'd hugged the rail all the way down, but Scott won't be too unhappy from here. He had a real chance, but he's fluffed it again. Does this guy not like winning? People have accused me of throwing frames, but this guy must be trying to lose on purpose. You can't be this bad. Although he's trying to turn that round, what a double that is. And he's even managed to clear the pocket for good measure. No, it didn't go. I thought it did. My eyes have deceived me. It looked in all the way. That's actually unlucky from Scott, and he's pretty much handed it on a plate to Chris, but Chris doesn't want it either. He's missing balls he wouldn't usually do so, as Scott managed to drag him down to his level. I don't think Scott's going to manage to get Chris to be that bad. This looks like the easiest opportunity in the world to make it 3-1. Chris is showboating though. He could have rolled that in, but a little bit of side on there. That's one for the cameras. 8 to the middle. Chris sinks it. He leads 3-1 as we join the action of the 7th frame. Now, are we starting to get to the stages where Scott is playing for merely pride? So far, he's managed to win 1 frame while Chris has won 5. It would appear that a -2 start wasn't nearly enough. Maybe it should have been -5 and Scott would have had half a chance at least. Chris will be looking to end this as quickly as he possibly can, but this won't be easy. That yellow on the left-hand side of the table is tucked in there. It's very tight indeed, but he does manage to get it out. That is some shot. That's good foresight from the big man, but can he capitalise on a great shot? He's got another tricky one. That's down to the bottom left, down to that dodgy pocket, but he's managed to come up short. That's not often been said to a man who's about 6'5", but he's left that cue ball a few inches shorter than he would have liked it. Will he look to play the double? Will he look to try and cut it in? Let's find out. He goes for the double. That's nowhere near. That was abysmal. That was like Brad playing that shot. That's embarrassing. He's given Scott a chance to get his hand on the table. He has hampered cueing, but at least he's at the table. As so far today, we haven't seen much of Scott. We haven't seen what he's capable of. He has messy 10 on the back, and his performance has been messy and certainly not a 10 out of 10. He's managed to block a hole. He's managed to get a snooker. Is Chris going to try and rattle off the jaws and copy his hero, which is me? As I'm sure you saw recently, a recreation video where Chris took 20 attempts to try and recreate my best shot of the season, which I performed in 1 shot. So who's better, me or Chris? Therefore, we go back to it once again. Who is going to win the Gold Cup competition? I'm playing shots that Chris just attempted for fun, and he can't pot them. But from here, I'm sure he will pot. No, he doesn't. He's managed to rattle one. His head is down. He's looking dumbfounded. Scott's dragging him down all the time. The longer Chris is here, he's losing brain cells. He's losing pulling ability. And Scott is going to start to get a head of steam. He's going to start to believe the longer this match goes, surely Scott will win a frame or 2. Real chance here for Scott. Can he remain composed? He's got 2 reds left, and one of those was over the hole, but he's left this trickier than he needed to do. He's going to take this bottom right. Position on the 8 ball should be natural. He manages to sink it. What a lovely shot. Is there life in the old dog? Yeah, he's going to look to sink this bottom right. He does. He's made a game of it. It's 2-3 as we move on to the 8th frame. Now, I'd given Scott grief earlier for his poor mathematical abilities when I struggled to count to 8. It's due to the -2. It was a struggle off the top of the dome, but I did manage to pluck it from somewhere. And Scott's going to look to pull a clearance out of his rectum here at the table. If he can pull this out, this will be incredible. It might be the inspiration he needs to go on and get himself into the semi-finals of the cup competition. But he comes up short there. He's given Chris a real chance to extend his lead to 4-2. Only 3 reds remain on the table. One of them is over the hole. He's going to look to take this one to the middle now. This will all be about getting position, which he manages to do. The cue ball avoids the middle pocket. Now just a roll in and then one over the hole. And no doubt he'll be looking to get a decent position onto the 8. Surely just a roll in from here. Look to take the 8 to the bottom right hand pocket. It doesn't go bottom left, but he's managed to overhit it. Does it go into the middle pocket? It doesn't look to me like it does. Those yellows are blocking the pathway. He's overplayed it and he's going to look to force it in off Scott's yellow ball into that middle right hand bag. This will be some shot if he can play it. Gonna need to hit it pretty hard. He's left it short though. That was always going to be the problem in that shot. Scott comes back to the table. 4 yellows on there for him to clear. The 8's over the hole. Does he have it within his locker? Now, one thing we all know that Scott does have in his locker is pictures of his hero. Me, I'm all over his locker like someone putting up a picture of David Beckham back in the day. For Scott, his hero is myself, and I'm the guy he tries to emulate on a daily basis. That's why he got into the commentary game as well as being bad at pool, as Chris sinks one up to the top right hand pocket. Will this be the last frame? Chris is on the hill in a race to 5. Scott's at the table and he's playing the yellow balls. Now, as we rejoin the action, it's backs against the wall stuff here for Scott. He needs to win all 3 frames. He needs to win 3 frames in a row to keep his dream alive, for him to stay in the cup competition. But he's given himself a fighting chance there. That was a lovely pot to the middle, but this will all be about position. He's not going to play that one to the middle, which would have been the ball for me. He's going to cue down on this one, and that was nowhere near. That was embarrassing. I apologise to anyone who was offended by that. That was criminal, and he should be locked away for missing a pot by that much. He's given Chris a chance to end the match up here. He does have a tricky ball up on that top rail though. He'll play with a bit of stun, a bit of bottom left maybe, to get up there and get as good as angle as he can, but he's left it short. He's not cueing as well as he was earlier on in this matchup. Is it all becoming too much for Chris? As the end line nears, does he start to feel the pressure? The pressure of the occasion in losing to Scott would be his worst defeat in probably his life, and that will be playing a part as well. But he's given Scott a chance, and this is a real chance, but he can't even get it to the pocket. That is a shot and a visit. We play black ball rules, and what was an easy chance for Scott, he's managed to fluff his lines. Surely now it will be over from here. So can I remind you all to like, follow, subscribe, engage. Everything you do for us really helps in getting our stuff out there. If you manage to watch this much of this dross, then you obviously like what we do. So don't forget, like, subscribe, comment, tell your nan, do anything you want. Let people know how bad we are. We try and make you feel better about your own game, which Chris has just done there by missing an 8 ball by an absolute mile, giving Scott another chance to keep this game alive. But he doesn't know what to do. It's been nearly a minute. I've been waffling on and Scott's not done anything. What will he look to play here? I'm guessing he's going to play some form of snooker, some form of little stitch up. But if he puts that 8 onto it, I don't know what he's really tried there. He's given Chris a chance of an easy stitch up. He's going to need a good touch though. Will Chris just go for the pot, thinking, well, I know Scott won't clear up? That is certainly an option. What will he look to do? He's got his butt in the air. Ooh! He's maybe playing the double into the middle. These aren't easy. I don't actually know what that was. He's just sort of flicked it out into no man's land. At least if he gets back to the table, it's in open play. And he probably will here because Scott hasn't got an easy chance. Will he look to play the double? Will he look to play another snooker of sorts. He is thinking, you can hear the cogs turning from here. What should I do? Should I be bold and go for it? He's played the double, could be a triple. It won't be a quadruple, will it? Yes, it will. What a time to fluke. That was really up against it for him, but he still needs to pot the 8. Chris would have potted it, but can Scott do so? This to make it 4-3. What a shot. What drama. Game on as we move on to the next frame. As we rejoin the action, it occurs to me Scott has taken this game further than any of us could have imagined. He's managed to win 3 frames, which we didn't think would be possible. But can he go one step further and win the match overall? Chris comes to the table, he's taken the red balls, and these are all there. If he can pot this tricky one, then surely this will be a chance for Chris to end it here and now. But we've seen the pressure is starting to build up on Chris. Can he contain himself? Can he put what's happened before to the back of his mind and take out this clearance? This is what Chris is capable of, but he hasn't shown it so far today. Just a 3 reds remain, but the 8's tucked down on that bottom cushion. Which path will he go? He plays that one to the middle. Gonna roll this one to the left-hand middle, I assume. No, he's not. He always plays the opposite of what I suggest. No, he is gonna play this one to the middle, giving himself an angle to take that cue ball down to be on the 8 ball. He's a bit straighter than he would have wanted, I'm gonna guess. This isn't perfect, but it should still be well in the realms of his capabilities to get onto this 8 ball. This is all about position, and that's absolutely nowhere near. Little flick off the yellow to make it a bit better than it could have been. He's looking to come off the cushion. He's looking to fluke it, but it wasn't to be. But it's now or never for Scott. That 8 is precarious. Once Scott misses, this game will be over. But how long will that take? Is he going to look to try and pot one or play a snooker? He's trying to play a snooker, but I don't think that's good enough at this level. Will Chris try and emulate his hero, which is me once again, and rattle it off the jaws? Can he bend it? Can he come off a cushion? Who knows? Only you decide. Or Chris actually decides because it's his shot. What's he looking to play here? Must be now to see it. He could see it. He pots it. He gets the 5. It's all over. Thanks for watching.